first just a dream has become a frightening reality for those who may oppose us.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
The Ahsoka Disney Plus project has officially brought Grand Admiral Thrawn back into the mix of things, but his return came with a fairly major plot twist in the Disney Plus show. And so, many fans have now tried to predict what episode the terrifying Grand Admiral would actually make his live-action debut in, but with only a few episodes of the show remaining, it had to be soon, Episode 6. In a recent interview from May of 2023 earlier this year, Baylan Skoll actor Ray Stevenson even teased that fans would question what's going on and what's the dynamic between his character, Baylan Skoll, and Thrawn when they finally would cross paths for the first time in the Ahsoka show. However, no one could have predicted what would actually happen when the heir to the Empire himself would come into the fold. And so, Episode 6 of Ahsoka, over on Disney Plus of course, has featured some groundbreaking moments, such as showing another galaxy on screen for the first time within Star Wars canon, a character actually mentioning the words "a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away" being such a prominent thing within the Star Wars storytelling in its movies, and even the return of Lars Mikkelsen's Grand Admiral Thrawn within live action. Many fans have expected to see Thrawn sometime soon, but the series creator and writer Dave Filoni included a massive twist when he has been first shown on screen. And so, as Baylan Skoll, Morgan Elsbeth, and Shin Hati awaited the arrival of Thrawn, they were met with the entrance that was nothing short of grand, and instead of just meeting the characters in a traditional way, the Grand Admiral himself, Thrawn, descended towards the platform that they were standing on in a repaired version of his ship, the Chimera. And so, the fact that his ship is even operational came as a massive twist and a surprise, since the Purrgil shot it into hyperspace at the end of the events of the Star Wars Rebels animated show. However, the surprises didn't stop from there, and there's a lot more that we're going to be seeing going forward. A lot of different theories have been floating around about the return of Thrawn, of course, as well, something I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions and theories in the comment section down below for. However, one of the many ones being once docking and having the bay come into view, rows of stormtroopers in battered armor appeared on screen, an army of stormtroopers under the operation and command of Thrawn himself. Some of them even sported broken armor that was repaired with what appeared to be gold. And so, whether or not that these stormtroopers are actually alive or if they're undead is a whole nother theory in itself. And as they lined up in attention, Thrawn's army began to chant his name over and over again as the Grand Admiral himself had walked among their ranks. Just such a chilling entrance and totally badass. Just seeing Thrawn was a bit of a surprise in of itself, but the fact of that was on this desolate planet with an army of his own, as well as a functional Star Destroyer, was a plot twist that had hardly anyone actually saw coming, and that any of this would still stand nearly 10 years after the events of the end of Star Wars Rebels, and after seeing him last, that he would still be standing with an army of stormtroopers behind him and still have his Star Destroyer in operation. As many Star Wars fans really took to a surprise, as I had mentioned, seeing that his Star Destroyer was ripped through hyperspace into another galaxy by the Purrgil. And so, with this all being said, what is Thrawn's plan in Ahsoka? What's his place in all of this, aside from being the big bad, and the greater galaxy, of course, as well? Grand Admiral Thrawn is in a much better situation in Ahsoka than anyone thought he would actually be, and he really does pose a major threat, although there still does seem to be some explanations and a little bit of backstory that might need to be filled in for how and why he's still able to stand so strong, especially after being abandoned for so many years. As someone who should never be underestimated, Thrawn proved just how menacing and resourceful he is by coming into the show on the fully operational Chimera ship, Star Destroyer, loaded with an army of stormtroopers. It is also interesting to also note that the design choice of having some stormtroopers feature gold and red lines from the Japanese culture, where when a vase breaks, the cracks are traditionally sealed back together with gold. This comes as no surprise, however, since Star Wars has historically takes so much influence from Japanese samurai films. It really just in itself is another cool detail and Easter egg. As for why maybe though, however, this army of stormtroopers have been battered with their armor being seemingly destroyed in some cases, perhaps Thrawn's been at war with another army in this faraway galaxy outside of the main Star Wars galaxy, which I will say has been a common theory floating around out there, although it remains as of to who and what this other army are, and how do they pose an actual threat and risk to the main Star Wars galaxy is a whole nother thing I feel to discuss a little bit later on, something that could maybe potentially be revealed in Ahsoka's final 2 episodes, and it probably will be revealed in those final 2 episodes. Ezra Bridger himself was also introduced, or reintroduced, at the end of Ahsoka Episode 6, but instead of living comfortably inside of a facility like a Star Destroyer with his own troops, it was revealed that Ezra had been moving from place to place with a native species called the Noti, these little turtle-like creatures. The twist that Thrawn has the Chimera, or the Star Destroyer, up and running with a legion of stormtrooper proves that he means business, and that he, Thrawn, is really willing to do whatever it takes to regain control over the main Star Wars galaxy once he leaves Peridia. And it wouldn't be a surprise if he actually bests Ahsoka and her companions in the final episode of the show, but I feel that that's something to regard and theorize in a whole nother video here on the channel. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thrawn's main objective as of right now is to just get off of the planet in this other galaxy and to get back to the main Star Wars galaxy that fans know and love. However, when he was informed that Ahsoka was on her way to Peridia, he realized that he needed to deal with her first. In the coming episodes, the final 2 episodes, Thrawn and his forces will likely face off against Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra before leaving the planet that they're on. However, due to just how much Thrawn has accomplished since arriving on this planet of Peridia, it's also not looking good for the heroes, as really they too could be stranded there by the end of the show. But I feel that this is something to discuss in another video. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions and theories in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.